in.
What's going on, everybody? Hey, y'all, come on now. Y'all know I miss analog girl in this digital world. Y'all know I don't know nothing about all this damn technology. Come on in, come on in, come on in. What's going on, gentlemen? It's good to see you guys again.
Hello. You controlled it, and I didn't have to log out and log back in. I'm just saying.
So you're insinuating that Cortez is doing something dark and problematic behind the scenes. Got it.
Listen, I'm not going to touch it because I don't want to be accused of gaslighting. Let's have some gas and lighting.
Yeah, I'm sorry for saying something so dark.
Oh, my God.
It's okay. I forgive you. We're friends. Forgive you.
By the way, and welcome to the lean, and it's time to lean in, bitch. What's going on? We're gonna start with. I'm not gonna start with you, Jamie. How you doing, Danny?
I'm doing amazing. How about you, Chasey?
I'm well. It's good to see you. You know, the people say you was on the Sick and Shut In last week.
Hallelujah. I'm gonna just say thank you for the prayers.
Well, listen, we definitely have prayers out for you. And last but certainly not least, how are you, Isabella's favorite?
Hi, Danny. It's really good to see your face today.
It's good to be seen. It's good to be seen.
Oh, you know what?
We're going to behave.
Well, I'm glad to be back with you guys. Although we had a great panel last week, I definitely actually missed you guys. So, you know. Oh.
I miss me too.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Well, with that being said, we're going to start right along with our bombastic review. Make sure you like and subscribe, as well as engage with us in the comments. Tweet us at The Lean Official, and we'll definitely go ahead and engage with you guys right on back. So let's start. We start off with Garcelle and her sister and her new beach house. And ooh, child, the white refrigerator. Lord Jesus, Nene has ruined that for everybody. You know, we're not going to touch.
It needs some
go
work.
ahead.
It needs some work.
It needs a lot of work.
Needs a little work, little paint, a little DIY.
Candace call it a $900,000 teardown. Barnyard.
And you know, the funny thing is, I work in property management, right? And when you buy appliances, white and black, they're the same price.
Yeah.
So it's not that white appliances are any cheaper. To me, it's just a lack of taste.
A white appliance would look cute if you knew how to zhuzh up the rest of the place.
Yeah, like how Giselle tried, you know, with all her kitchen being white. I get it. It just didn't. No. She just wanted the one to do it.
No, never.
Well, you know, we're going to move right along, but I thought that was poignant for me because this is a show that historically has not had brown and African-American, or excuse me, brown black girls. Garcelle's not African-American, but what I'm trying to say is to see people of color, you know, buying these properties, living the Beverly Hills lifestyle, it made me happy. Even though she doesn't look the Beverly Hills lifestyle, she certainly is living it, and I'm so glad to see that. Dorit meets with Erika to talk about her therapy session, and they discuss how Renna will deal with Lois's situation. And then we go right into the meat and potatoes. Crystal and Kyle meet, where Crystal says she is not going to repeat what Sutton said, and Kyle lets her know that her choice is dangerous, honey. Deep and dangerous.
Deep and dangerous.
And that she thinks Kyle has been, that she thinks Crystal is gaslighting the situation. And, you know, listen, for me, what took me out was Crystal's response to that. Crystal was like, me? Like, hot me cattle? Like, me? Are you serious? Like, let's not do it. What do you guys think about the first half of the sit down?
Well, when Crystal said, she immediately said, you know, you got to be careful with the words that you choose, and you know, whatever Sutton needs to be careful. I'm not putting this out there. As soon as Kyle said that's what gaslighting is, Crystal said, are we really using that word? You have to be careful with the words you choose. Like, bitch, hold on. Hold on just a second.
I guess my issue with the whole Crystal thing is you're telling Kyle to be careful with the words she's choosing, yet you're creating a whole situation and you're not, you know, and it pains, I bet you it pains Renna, all them girls to have to defend Sutton. It hurts them to have to defend her.
It hurts them.
But you know what? Crystal, like, what's the point of this?
I mean, Crystal made a good point during. Sorry, Chase.
Please go ahead.
Crystal made a good point. She was like, "It's, you know, it's difficult to see them not defending me or not, coming to my aid or something. That's like, girl, I wish you would have seen your behavior last year when all of this was going on with Sutton, and you were just kind of back there like unconcerned. You were joining right into it. You were talking about who is Sutton. I know a lot of people in Hollywood never ever met Sutton, so like it's different when the shoe is on the other foot for something as trivial as Sutton talk about multicultural stew. Like, I don't know why you're getting this upset about it, but she's dragging it. And it reminded me why I started to dislike her last year. Because, my God, she knows how to belabor a moot point.
Honey, the point is moot, but none of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills when we have something that we need to talk about. I just wanted to quickly address for those in the comments who are worried about our fearless leader, Cortez. He is definitely not fired. We did not Mariah Huck Cortez, okay? He is definitely still the king of the lean, and he will be back next week once he comes back from his vacation. So he's simply on vacation. I'm simply filling in, and trust me, I could never fill the boss's shoes, okay? So I just want to get that out there in the open.
I just want to point out, Isabel was concerned that Danny and I were fired last week when we missed a show. She's concerned about Cortez. Baby, we are here. It is okay. Nobody is quitting. Thank you for your concern, but we're going to be here. Just let us have a night off, girl.
and when I have a night off eventually, I hope that you ask about me, Isabel, because I won't about you all the time. Oh. I knew you were Isabel. I knew it. I knew you were Isabel.
I was going to say, TKC's comment to me is very right. Crystal thought that with the way all the girls, the Fox Far, whatever the blondes felt about Sutton, that they were just going to ride with it. Crystal really thought that. And
it tied directly into the bombshell that came out at the end of the episode with how she acts. I said, there it is. That is exactly why she's doing that. It's yes. I want to like her so bad, but it's just like, girl, you really need to cover all your bases before you start throwing some shit out.
I'm not going to like her again until she goes at it with Erika.
I never liked her. I'm so glad that I made it. You guys, we've been around each other for a while now. And you know how I am. Like, I'm the type of person that I'm looking at you and you know what? I don't like the bitch. And 9 times out of 10, I hate to say it, mother's right. Mother be right.
You were like that with that lady from Salt Lake.
And I didn't like her from the beginning. I did not like the bitch. Anyway.
The half of bad weather?
No, like the other one. The other one with the one black friend.
Anyway, honey, let's move right on. Hello. Before we move on, though, I do want to give, and I don't do this often, but, I do it when it's necessary. I'm going to give Erika her props, as we'll get into later on in the episode. It takes a real-ass bitch to do what she did at the end of the episode. So I'll give her that, but I'll give her nothing more. With that being said, the continuation of this scene, Kyle asks if Crystal is going to be dramatic and says, wow, I just don't even know how to move on from that. And Crystal says no, and to give her the benefit of the doubt, and Kyle says from now on that Crystal should be more direct. What did you guys think about that?
Again, I hate to say Kyle's right.
I hate when I agree with Kyle. I hate it.
Y'all some real ones.
I hate it. Begrudgingly, but I mean, Kyle would not say that to the rest of her little friends. I think, this sit down is classic Kyle. They tried to take down Sutton and Garcelle, and I think they've seen that Sutton and Garcelle are too tight of a unit. So now the Crystal gave them something to be able to say, like, all right, we just need to break her off from this little group, and it'll be easier to pick them off one by one. Because, like, it's the way they're going at her hard is very, very weird. Like you said, Danny, like, they don't fuck with Sutton. They don't like Sutton, and they've proven that over and over.
The way they're going at Crystal, to me, I feel they're going harder. I feel it's performative because at one point last season, many of them were accused of, racially insensitive things themselves. So it's like they're attacking this very hard to show that I don't tolerate it. I don't tolerate it. That's how I feel.
Well, I think they're trying to bully her. And the way that I've seen it played out, the way that they're continuing to badger her, it's almost as if they want to believe her and they are trying to get her to say something so they can take down Sutton. And they're getting frustrated because she's steadfast in saying, like, no, I'm not going to do it. And when it came out later that, well, girl, it was a non-starter, well, now they're mad that they ain't got shit to take Sutton down with.
Well, either that or it is a bunch of people who have been alleged racist throughout different episodes of various seasons, ganging up on a person.
Now the heat is off them.
But you have to be careful about how you go about it because you can still be accused of being racist by how you guys are sheer, like, just the sheer tenacity of the situation in which they will not let it go. I think that if anybody has been accused of being racist, anything around that scope, I would probably just shut the fuck up and back off. But they don't seem to
Mind my
want to do that.
business. Like Dorit didn't have a dog, and she said, "All right."
Well, Dorit kind of surprised me later on in the episode by being as vocal as she was. But before we get to that, we have our favorite moment of the show, a Diana scene, which seemed to be all about Kyle. And listen, was it me or what is up with Kyle's walk lately? Is she like paying homage to the great Teddy? What was that walk like? Is she not walking heels? Did you guys see that? Was the floor just
very sturdy?
Anyway,
very sturdy. Very sturdy.
And stuffy. We'll move right the hell on up. So Garcelle and Sutton meet for dinner, and Garcelle looks gorgeous, by the way. But the thing about Garcelle looking so gorgeous, I feel like she wastes glam. She uses glam on the wrong scenes. Like, why wasn't she glam like that at dinner? Like, I don't know. I don't know. I just feel like the glam is misplaced. However, and Sutton reveals that she spoke with Crystal about what happened. And this is where she reveals exactly what was said, and that she, has had a pool or whatever, a multicultural pool party or whatever you want to call it, and that she did not see what the issue was hosting those children of all ethnicities. And Garcelle tells Sutton to watch her back with her new friend, and Sutton admits that she's scared of Crystal, especially if she would use the word dark to describe Sutton's story. What do you guys think?
I think that had we heard that story when it was airing, heard it live, I think all of us probably would have looked at each other and said, like, that's a little tone deaf. Like, this is white women always want to prove they're not racist by saying, I have little black girls and Chinese girls in the pool with my white son. So I can see where Crystal would probably be like, girl, that's I need you to think about how you're framing this story. Crystal kind of shot herself in the foot by framing it as if, the United Nations pool party was some sort of like bedlam, and that Sutton was nefariously saying that she allowed, like, it's just so weird the way she framed it. And Sutton ended up being the winner.
My issue to me is not the way she framed it, honestly. I don't think there's any way that Crystal could have brought this up a year and a half later that would have made sense to bring it up like it was an issue. It was an issue when y'all discussed it last year. You forgave her, you move on, and y'all have been booty partners since then. Like,
and it's weird why it wasn't brought up last year. As much as Crystal was saying all kind of stuff that happened, why didn't she say
it? Just serves no purpose to be brought up now and to be exaggerated so much.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say exaggerated because if she was offended by it, you were offended by it, and I can't take that from you. But you moved on. You've been friends with her.
But
that's like Nene calling Kim racist and still working with her.
Call me.
Well, listen. As I stated last week, for me, now that I've heard what she said, I could understand where that is. It could be deemed to be insensitive. It was not dark. However, what is dark, Miss Crystal, is you using that as a weapon to get the people up off of you. So you use something. You use like I do not like them using racist weapons, and this is just something that has been going on for years. It's just as tired as the gay storyline. Listen, honey, it's running stale to me. In the words of Kiki Palmer, and listen, Crystal, to be so woke and to be so educated and to be Miss Big Words, to be Miss Merriam-Webster, bitch, you should know better. So for that, I definitely look at you double side-eyed, cock-eyed, up-eyed, down-eyed, and all the way around-eyed, bitch, because you are a nasty bitch. But with that being said, we're going
to educate the girls on what, ask them if they, say that they're big words, but she couldn't understand the proper meaning of a 4-letter word.
And the thing, like, you could tell that there was an agenda behind it, like you and Danny both said, because whenever it was very clear that Garcelle knew what was said, and Garcelle didn't have any issue with what was said, Crystal pressed her not once but twice of, are you sure you're not offended? And Garcelle was like, no, girl, I don't understand why the fuck you're bothered by it. Like, it was very clear that she really thought that this was going to be some bombshell that once Garcelle and the other ladies heard, they were going to be like, oh my God, mixed stew. Like our kids don't mix bathe together. Like it was very weird. She
Oh
she
my God.
she
Did you
didn't
not
think
say
this
that?
through.
Oh my
She
God.
didn't think
Well, I
it
think
through. She really thought.
Crystal thought she had you, girl, diamond secured, boo.
She thought it, and I mean, you could even see the look on her face. She's like, "God damn,
Yeah.
nobody's on my side."
All right. Yeah, nobody was on it. In the comments, my love, are not on your side as well. Before we go ahead, we have a programming note. So tomorrow we will not be having the Real Housewives of Dubai on the lean. We're gonna go ahead and resume back next week with the double Dubai. So make sure you guys load up on your Real Housewives of Dubai and meet us next week, next Thursday, for a very special double Dubai. Okay. With that being said, we move right along with our bombastic review. And unfortunately, Rena reveals that Lois has passed away, and that it's been hard. It was hard not to keep her alive due to her request to not be resuscitated, not to just let her go on in peace. And that package that they showed of Lois was super, super
Yeah,
beautiful and heartfelt. And what really touched me, or what I said this earlier, but I'm saying it again. Bravo strikes again. Like, this episode airs a year and a day removed from when she passed away. So, rest in heavenly peace, Lois. And what do you guys think about the decision that Lois made not to be revived or resuscitated? What do you guys think about that?
maybe she was in her 90s.
You
What are you
you always got to
resuscitating?
rule. You
But
can't
no, I'm
have
saying
no. Oh my
Lois,
God.
Lois, Lois was the most redeeming part of Rena. As much as I loathe Rena and as difficult and downright dirty as she can be, seeing the relationship she actually had with her mother, I thought was a really, really great, solid relationship. Lois was fantastic. Lois was everything that we want Rena to be. But she fails miserably at it. So I would much rather have Lois here and Rena gone.
So I know. Okay. So look, Lois was the best thing Brenda ever had to offer to the show. Better than her daughters, better than Harry Hamlin.
Oh,
Lois was the best thing. But I'm just upset that, on camera we saw more tears from Rena when Kim gave her back the bunny than we did over
Oh
Lois.
no.
Danny, I was thinking that, but I don't want to police how people grieve because, like
No, I
Chase
don't
said,
either, but I'm just
she's
saying
been here
for
wrong. But I
me.
said the same thing. I was like, girl, you don't seem that broken up talking
Well,
about
she could have made peace with,
your
she
mama.
was like in her 90s
It
and
was
stuff.
a couple months ago. But
You know
for me, it
what?
was the group scenes when she was talking about it with the other ladies, like, oh, it's all difficult, and I got there at the nick of time.
What?
And I'm
If
like,
you guys
You know
okay.
agree,
what? Look at
Chris, do
Sammy.
you
Look at
think?
Sammy's comment.
Sammy said Lois was still driving. Lois, Sammy,
With
please.
these gas prices, good call. Hell, rest in peace.
Oh, I didn't mean to highlight that. Oh Lord, is that what he said? Oh my God.
Chase,
You need your glasses
come
on,
on,
Trace.
come on.
Well, listen. The only thing I can think of, and this is so bad, but it speaks to your character, Lisa Rinna, and not mine, is that she probably like filmed a TikTok of her dancing on top of that lady grave. Anyway, with that being said, we're gonna move right the hell along with our bombastic.
Chase, Cortez
No,
gonna
you
come back
started
to a canceled
it.
show. Cortez
Oh
gonna come
Lord
back to
Jesus.
the lean suspended.
No, okay, you guys, let's pull it back in. Let's reel it in. Okay, so then we have a couple of scenes that really nobody really cared about. Kyle and Erika discuss it next. Oh, do you guys want to talk about Kyle and Erika discussing it next? Rena shows up for the girls' trip to Mexico, and I was surprised. Now, one thing I did not see initially, and I wrote down was, is Sutton on the plane? But I guess Sutton was on the plane.
Oh, I didn't see. I thought she met them there
No,
separately.
Sutton
She wasn't on the
okay.
plane.
No. Well, Sutton was there with the girls when she said, let's go get on the plane. When Diana said, let's
Okay.
go, Sutton was there.
In the comments,
Really?
if you saw Sutton on the plane, drop some airplane emojis and
It's
let
a
us
game.
know, because I really did not see her.
The game we're
Was
playing
Sutton on the
tonight
plane?
is where is Sutton? Circle her.
Where is Sutton? She is firmly implanted with her boot up Crystal's ass, and we'll get into that in just a few moments. Because baby, she shook her till she couldn't turn her loose. Turn her loose, damn it! Sutton, Erika, Crystal, and Garcelle are in one car, and betting that Dorita speaking Spanish, and Dorita being as pretentious as she is, she definitely speaking.
Speaking French, speaking Spanish. Girl, shut up.
My God.
I wish production had edited a sombrero onto Dorit while she was talking.
Maybe
Like,
Sandy
Let's
can
not
let
mention
her borrow
sombrero.
the sombrero.
Oh God. Let's not mention sombrero. Let's not talk about the sombrero. Yes,
What I
listen
will
though.
say is very telling when Sutton brought that up. Erika wasted no time in kikiing with Sutton about Dorit speaking
Yes.
Spanish. I was like, Erika, you say on one hand that you don't want to have anything to do with Sutton, but you, at every opportune time to get in good with her with her camera time, you're up on there.
She turned around
trying to
and
get it.
looked
She
at her and
said,
spoke to her. It's a red flag.
okay. How dare he?
Listen,
I look at
you
that bitch sideways.
and then the driver was just like, actually, bitch, I speak great English. What language are you speaking? Like, how do you speak
But
Spanish?
Erika,
What
you're
accent
right.
is that?
That's a red flag. You trying to speak Spanish like that. They know what your Spanish sounds like, girl.
I wonder
Let
if
it go,
Crystal
love.
thought that was dark and problematic.
That's one of Dorit's 9 languages, though.
Can I ask, well, does anyone know, anyone on the panel, anyone in the group, what is coconut rosilia? I've never had that. What is that?
Me neither.
Oh,
I don't like
anybody in the
coconut.
comments? We're not gonna touch it.
Shut up.
Kyle does or can't walk in heels, walk again. And Erika is forced to shop from Rainbow now that she's in the poorhouse. Why did I write that down? Why did I write that down?
And Erika,
I know I wrote that down
she is
because
using
Erika
every
showed up to dinner. Wait, Erika showed up to dinner with like, and she looked cheap. I'm sorry, she just looked really cheap. If she's not broke, she's definitely selling it. I tell you that. So the girls
she
are showing up
wastes
to
no
dinner.
opportunity telling people
My
she's
God.
broke. When they were talking
Like-
about Diana picking up the plane, Erika was like, "Must be nice. I can't afford it anymore." I'm like, "Girl, please. It is
Listen.
okay. You are not on
Listen.
Section 8. You are not getting any kind of assistance. Shut the fuck up." And can we talk about how her house is tacky as shit? Every
What
single
was that
time she
ugly
was
ass
on that
couch?
phone.
I was gonna bring
Oh
it
my
up.
God, everything. Emerald green thrones in the back, carpeted floors, carpet. Oh, it was horrible.
When you go thrifting, stuff ain't always
Oh
gonna.
my God. She went dumpster diving. She went
Listen, she
dumpster
is
diving to
selling
pick
it.
up furniture. Oh my God.
This
She was
like-
performance.
No, Chase, you're
This
right. She's
performance-
selling it.
She
This
is selling
performance,
poor.
I never thought in a million years that anybody would be able to top Married to Medicine season 2, Lisa Nicole's event, where this is not about a show. This is my life. I would not come up with my cherry-eyed sweetheart and throw tomatoes with you. I love that girl like a sister from home. But God doggone it, if Erika is not doing her best, like Erika's doing her big one. Like she showed up, she was like, "You see this bag? Instagram boutique." Like, girl,
That girl, it's okay. It is
all
okay.
right, girl.
We're
All right,
fine.
love.
Thou
Dorit
doth
shares
protest
this-
too much.
Exactly. Dorit shares that she's struggling yet again with feeling safe. What do you guys think about that?
It's
Next.
funny. You go to another place where Americans get robbed.
Oh. Daddy, please.
Oh my God. You guys are back with a vengeance. Hey, CJ, how are you?
Erika is starting to see, or excuse me, Dorit's starting to see that storyline kind of faltering a little bit. And Crystal done took her thunder, so she shows up in
she's forgetting to
distress.
stay in character.
She should, because she's kikiing, laughing. She fucking doing dips in the parking lot. And now she's like, "Oh, by the way, I couldn't sleep last night. My anxiety. I was robbed, you know. They told me I was going to die." I'm like, "Girl, let's go."
There was another note that I picked up from dinner before we get into the big scene. Did Renna order a well-done tenderloin? I said, well done. Well, that bitch is stuffing nails. Wow.
But she be chewing, because she a dog-ass bitch. She chewing on it like a piece of jerky.
Okay, now you have lost your mind tonight. What's going on? When the boss is away, I don't know. You are cussing people out, and I don't even know why, but it's okay. I love it. But not only does she have that hard, tough-ass piece of meat, she got right to business, cutting into the drama, wanting to know what happened only less than a week removed from her mother's passing. Her mother's passing. She wants to know what happened.
She's a consummate professional. Keep it going.
But, you know, I love my mama, so I don't know. The convo starts with Sutton and Crystal, and Sutton wants it to be clear and that, you know, no untruth should be spoken about her. And she said it with such a stern tone. And she wants to know why it was brought up again. And so then, you know, Crystal gets called out and she insults the lady by using quote unquote big words. Sutton feels her character was assassinated, not only once but twice by Crystal. And I just want to say before I give it to you guys, you know, for someone to be such a race warrior like she is, You know, the lady was a Jesus warrior. She's a race warrior and equality, the champion of equality. To talk to Garcelle in that tone, Crystal really is all over the spectrum with this one. What do you guys
But no,
think?
like someone said in the comments, you know, she didn't make Garcelle feel comfortable last year. She sat there and said nothing when Garcelle said, as a Black woman, she didn't feel like she fit in with these girls.
It was
Crystal
cricket.
didn't say nothing.
Mm-hmm. And now she wants to champion the. How can she tell me as a POC and a person of color I'm not supposed? I think had Crystal come at it and said, you know what, there was a conversation, there was some shit that was said that I didn't necessarily vibe with. I didn't like it. I took offense to that. We talked about it. It's whatever. But to insinuate that, baby, I'm about to blow the roof off of her plantation ass, and we're gonna get down to the nitty gritty, and still poking at Garcelle, like trying to get Garcelle on her side. Like this isn't it. You provided no receipts. The receipts were the same as who brought those them bum ass receipts to the reunion that one time. Whitney on Salt Lake when they were faded. There was nothing. Couldn't read it. Girl, we're moving on. This is done. Like stop it. This is what you bring to your second season. This.
Even Brenda was pissed and said, "We're going into dangerous territory here." Like.
And if we were in
I love when Sutton fired back and said what she heard about Crystal and her character, and she always wants to make friends with the it girl.
And that's what we've been saying since last season. That's what we've been saying all this season.
And Brenda said, "Well, I heard it."
Okay, wait a minute. We're gonna get into it, y'all. Wait, guys. Guys.
Sorry.
Because before we get there, no, it's okay. Before we get there, Erika chimes in and says that there are similarities. Garcelle. Imagine how tired we are. Just imagine. Erika says there are similarities, but Garcelle and Sutton say that it is not the same. Where Sutton was questioning what was in the press, Crystal was more deliberate with her approach. And then Dorit and Kyle called Crystal out for gaslighting. I love that when Miranda did that. I'm sorry. Let's have some gas and lighting. And Erika gets to the point that Sutton doesn't want Crystal to insinuate that she is racist. And Sutton is fucking pissed. Guys, I leave it to you.
Well, I mean, Sutton should be pissed. That's a horrible thing that, to say. Sutton even said, I give you permission to say what was said. And Crystal still doesn't want to say it. So it's just like, that lets me know that Crystal doesn't even think it's that dark. That she was gaslighting.
But we've talked about this in the group chat. As much as we love Sutton, she's a Southern woman from Georgia. I'm sure that if you keep your mouth shut, she's gonna give you something. But you've gotta understand when to make a big deal out about something. Like, and this was a nothing. Like you could have been offended, like you said, Danny. If that's how you felt about it, cute. That's you. But to try to this crusade of trying to, and she knew what she was doing. She was very deliberate with what she said. It backfired, and it literally is one of those things like the girl who cried wolf. Well, now, girl, when something happens, like, why are we going to listen to you? Like, you're trying way too fucking hard, and it really backfired. Like, we want to.
She completely invalidated herself. She completely invalidated herself, and there's not much. I think that she thought this was going to be the smoking gun to keep her diamond. We always say peach, but keep her diamond. And I actually think that for me, this is where we say, Shantae.
And the thing is, if she really thought about it, honey, you saw the way it played out last year, and you saw the way it's playing out this year. I know you pay attention to Twitter and Instagram because you're posting self-affirmations on there for the past year and a half. The way to keep your diamond is to get in good with the two girls that you're trying to make look foolish on the show. That's a quick way to get you up out of here. And as you can see, she thought the people were going to have her back, and the girls are not. Those four little white girls.
Same white women she's defending left her out to dry and actually helped crucify
in favor
her.
of a bitch they hate. Even the bitch who sat there and said multiple times she hates her sided with her.
And in the words of Phaedra Parks, irony is so ironic, isn't it? Like that is that is just like, wow, like you thought you were going to shake Miss Sutton, and girl, you went to that table and got ragdolled down to that table. Like they shook that lady till they couldn't turn her loose.
She thought she ate that. She thought she ate it, but nothing.
So as we continue on with this elongated dinner scene, Dorit and Kyle call Crystal.
Good word choice. Good word choice. Very good word choice.
Hey, baby, don't play with me because I'm not one of them. I'm not Garcelle.
Oh, right. That's a big word.
Yeah,
that's a big word for Elmo.
Yeah. Let's just get that out of in the open. I'm not that girl. Anyway, Sutton said that Crystal makes things up. She's a dreamer. She likes to dream in her sleep.
She dreams a lot.
About the ladies behind their backs, and basically called her a social climber. And Renna, whose lips never stay sealed at the truth, lips were sealed at the truth, even though she's heard it too. If that does not go to show how bad those girls want Sutton off of that show, because if it were anyone else, Renna would have chimed right on in and said, actually, I heard it too. And as a matter of fact, I heard that you are a social climber, and I see the way that you're pivoting, and we don't fuck with it. But the fact that she chose to stay silent is, a bit baffling. Maybe she is emotional at her mother's passing. What do you guys think?
Right after they showed Renna in her confessional saying she heard it before, here comes Renna. So are you saying that she, like...
I love it.
Like, immediately after.
I know Sutton didn't want to go there, and now, seeing this dinner play out, I can see why last week Sutton was ready to dead it. Just like, girl, I know what you're inferring. I know what we're talking about. I'm going to give you a chance to make it. I'm really trying to like you, and I'm going to give you a chance to make it. But they kept pushing her there. And so now Sutton had to tug on her wig a little bit and said, well, girl, I like it. And I love how she prefaced it. Well, I'm trying to fucking like you, bitch. But you are pushing me. And don't let's not talk about what I know about. And Crystal would.
Let's not talk about the social climbing.
Let's not talk about the social climbing.
Let's not talk about the social climbing. I know that I have screamed it from the mountaintops this season that lady is in other words a pick me and all of those things. However, to end the dinner scene off, Crystal asked Garcelle. Now she wants the opinion of the black lady at the table as to whether or not she was offended, and Garcelle frankly put no. And I was a little bit conflicted because I am going to say as a black person that, I don't think Garcelle is the authority on blackness. And I've said that more than one way, more than once on this show. But, for Crystal to be looking for a friend, I think whether Garcelle agreed or not, I don't think she was going to give it to her in that moment. And then we're off to next week, and next week looks like it's going to be hell. Before I get you guys' opinions on this last scene and we let our callers up, make sure you like and subscribe to this video. I see everybody in the comments. We're going strong tonight. Tomorrow is Dubai. Make sure you tweet us at The Lean Official. And you guys, take it away from the last part of that scene. What'd you think?
So I think Crystal would have had a better chance of getting a different response from Garcelle, even saying, I see how you could feel how that would bother you, if she hadn't had prefaced it with the words dark, 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 dark. Because it could be problematic, but it's not dark.
Yeah.
And I think exactly. By then, Garcelle was already over using the word dark so much. And then we hear this, and it's like, this is what you're talking about? So to Garcelle, it's just, and at the end of the day, too, Garcelle doesn't have to find that offensive. If she didn't find it offensive, she didn't find it offensive. And like I said earlier, if Crystal did, she did. You can't take it away from either one of them.
And you could tell that Garcelle, because even at that dinner earlier in the episode, Garcelle was asking Sutton, are you fucking sure that this was all that was said? Are you fucking sure? Like, she didn't just blindly believe Sutton. She was pressing her to, like, girl, if there was something more, now is the fucking time.
Gonna get
got cameras all around. We're gonna find out. And I think it was more telling, like, Chase, you've gone back and forth, and we know black is not a monolith. Black people can have multiple conversations and be offended by multiple things. So Garcelle doesn't necessarily have to be offended, but the fact that Crystal was so dead set to hardcore 90-degree turn to her and say, are you offended, shows that Crystal really wanted
she was
the token black girl of the show to say, yes, this hurt me. Like, honey, if you're offended, say that you're offended. Say why you're offended. Sutton and I talked about it. It is what it is. The optics are weird. But to insinuate, and as much as I hate the Fox Force 5, over and over they said, you're insinuating something that the receipts aren't there. It's not adding up. And I hate to side with them, but that's what it is.
Even Erika.
And let that be. Yes,
especially Erika.
But let that be a lesson to everyone in the world and just in general. Sometimes you got to walk your walk and talk your talk on your own. And you have to go your fight by yourself. I don't give a damn if anybody agree with what I say. This is how I felt. This is what I saw. This is what I heard. And that is that. And that is that. And that is that. And that is on period. Now, the fact that she wasn't able to do that, Crystal, I don't know. I don't know, sis. So we have some
Halfway
callers. We're
did
going
it.
to go ahead and get.
Well, and the final
Halfway.
thing, sorry, Crystal's opinions and Crystal taking offense seem less like teachable moments and more like I'm trying to get you. Like I really want to try and make you look stupid or make you look wrong. Because like you said, Chase, if you were truly offended and stuff, use that as an opportunity to say, these are the things that you said. This is why it's problematic. This is why it's this, that, and the third. If you weren't prepared to go into that on camera, baby girl, don't bring that up on camera. Because you're going to look really
Absolutely.
foolish.
I still
Really
find it
fucking
hard that
foolish.
a year later you're so bothered, and we've been friends for
Buy
year
a
and
hot
a half.
tub. Buy a
It
Neapolitan hot
wasn't.
tub.
She had nothing else, and so she used this as an attempt to get the heat off of her, and in turn it backfired. But before we go
And
ahead
I
and
hate it
belabor
for
this
her.
anymore, oh no, wait now, I don't hate it for the bitch. Let's go
I
ahead and
hate
let
it
our
for
first
her.
caller on.
Because Sutton was her only real friend.
Jamie, let me let this caller on the phone. Jamie, caller's on the phone now.
Another Mexican talking.
Ooh,
Brittany.
dark, problematic.
Brittany,
We'll talk about it later.
hello, Brittany. How are you? Welcome to the lead.
Hi guys.
Oh
How
my
you doing?
gosh, how are you? We're good. How
I'm
are
doing
you?
good. Great recap, by the way.
Oh, thank
Great
you.
episode tonight. Beverly Hills is really bringing it. I'm loving it. I just wanted to start off by saying I agree with you, Danny, when it comes to why the other ladies, the white ladies like Kyle and Erika and Dorit, kind of wanted to push it. They did get a lot of backlash last season, especially Dorit after she yelled at Garcelle at the reunion for being racially insensitive, trying to paint Garcelle in a certain light. So I agree with you by saying that they wanted to squash it because they don't want any of those accusations again. When it comes to, I still like Crystal. I do. I have to say though, I'm more annoyed with Garcelle. And I know that people aren't really talking about it, but I am, which is why I had to call in because it
Okay.
it bothers me because this all started, right? Because Crystal was basically saying that if the group doesn't agree with something, they invalidate your feelings. And that next morning, Crystal didn't want to go to Kyle's house. Garcelle is the one who convinced her to go. Oh, just come, explain your side. Like, she was the one who convinced her to go. Crystal goes, and then Garcelle blindsides her with this. It felt like no matter what Sutton said, you were going to say you're that girl. Garcelle has never said this before. Where did that come from? And then for her to say that Crystal set her up, how? Sutton agreed with that. She was that girl who says that she doesn't see color. So by accusing Crystal of that, I'm not sure what else Crystal could have said. Like, she had to say, well, no, I said it for a reason, and she was right in saying that Sutton is that girl. She is. So I feel like Crystal was kind of in a hard place there, and because she was blindsided, like you guys said, she shouldn't have said it if she wasn't prepared to explain it. But I really do feel like Crystal was blindsided by Garcelle. I really thought Crystal thought that, oh, Garcelle's telling me to
Yeah.
go. Let me explain myself. And then I was shocked when I saw this scene. I was like, Garcelle, what are you talking about? You've never said this before, that she was trying to set Sutton up. Like, I didn't like that Garcelle said that, especially since that time last season. Sutton was very emotional and she was sensitive about everything. You remember she had that entire thing about, oh, people think I'm racist because I'm from the South, and she was upset about it. It's like, girl, like, what are you talking about? So I didn't like that Garcelle said that. And so I don't, it's unfortunate the way it ended up with Crystal, but again, I don't know what else Crystal could have done because she was blindsided that way.
Well,
I mean,
Brittany, you know
it's
what? We
the same.
definitely.
She could have said the same thing that she tried to backtrack with her comment. Like, Sutton and I already talked about that. We already had our conversation about it. It's over and done with. It's a year and a half later. Sutton and I are very good friends. We're in a very good place. But instead, she chose to try to drop this bomb to try to be like, oh, and Garcelle has her producer hat on this season. She clocked into work and she's
But
doing
she's
what
not the
needs
only
to be
one.
done.
Everybody's producing. I mean, because Erika
Everybody's
Loretta
producing.
was producing this evening. Brittany, I have to let
But
you go
Sutton,
because
her
we have
friend.
another caller holding.
Sorry,
But thank you
Brittany.
for that
Ooh,
opinion, and we really appreciate that. Thank you for supporting the lean and calling in. Okay,
No
that's something
problem.
to
Have a
think
good
about. I
night.
didn't think about Garcelle. You
bye,
do the
Brittany.
same.
Bye.
I didn't think about that. That's a good point, you guys. She had,
That's a good
and we're
point.
gonna let
That's
up
a
our.
really good point.
Well, we had a caller. I think we may have lost her. Oh no, we. Hey, how are you?
Hi everyone. Hi Chase. Hi Jamie. Oh, hi Danny. How are you all today?
Oh.
Yeah.
We're well. How are you this
No, it's
evening?
Tyra. What? I don't sound like myself?
No, what was that?
No, but
Hi,
your name's
Danny.
different. No, but your name's
How?
different this
My
evening.
name's always been different. Oh yes, yes. Cortez usually
Okay, well, I
says
don't
my
know. This
name.
is my
That's why.
first time running it, so okay, I didn't know that was you.
Yes.
How you doing, my love?
Hello. Okay. Me and Chase always solid for Crystal like this, so I'm very happy we finally made it to the arrival for everyone else. For me, I can get the last caller talking about Garcelle because I saw some other people saying they didn't like that question, so I can understand it liking the question, but I can also kind of understand why Garcelle asked the question because at the reunion they brought up how Crystal said that about Sutton, but then when Kathy said she didn't see color, that wasn't Crystal's response. So I can see, coming back and being producer, you ask that question again. I'm neither here nor there on how people feel about that. But it is still Crystal's responsibility to respond. And she could have said, that's how I felt in the moment, and me and Sun have been able to make strides. Instead, what she did was she threw, well, what was said, there's a larger conversation that was said, it was very dark. And she also said that it was a dark conversation before that comment, which is why Kyle was confused. We know I don't like Kyle, but that's why Kyle was confused because Crystal had propositioned it as a conversation that happened until she said, are you that girl who doesn't see color? I can completely understand having this conversation. I'm from Georgia. I've grew up with a white best friend who like deer hunted and all kinds of stuff. I can completely get all of that. But where I have a problem with Crystal is she puts me in a place where I felt like when I went to a PWI and had an Asian American friend who made me feel like I was the one who she was able to have all these racial conversations with. But then amongst the white girls, she had a very different proposition about herself. And Crystal gives me that with the fact that she threw this out there, and then Garcelle, I can understand this. How would you feel if you are thinking you're making this relationship with a person, and you're a black person or a person of color, and this person's white, and you're thinking you're making strides in a relationship, and then another acquaintance of yours comes and said they said something dark surrounding race? That is what Crystal did to Garcelle. And then when Garcelle is saying, can you tell me what was said because it will change my relationship, she instead withheld that. And that, for me, I feel like it's emotionally violent. For me to feel like, for me as a person of color, to feel like you're saying something about my white friend that could like change my position, you can look at their version different, and you don't want to give me what was said. You want to act like it's no big deal, but it's so dark. And then later we keep pressing, oh, it was just problematic. It wasn't that big of a deal. Then why did you tell me it was dark? And why would you tell me what
Mm-hmm.
was said? And you keep going and going until we have to push you to say it. And it's even crazier because I feel like Garcelle didn't give something out because Garcelle kept asking Sutton what was said. And even after after Sutton said the whole multicultural jacuzzi party, Garcelle was like, are you sure that's all what was said?
Yep.
Garcelle was very serious about if she said something different, that would have changed the relationship. And then Crystal confirmed that was all that was said. And instead of standing by that that's what she meant and that's how she felt, she wanted to pull Garcelle into that mold. And I don't like that because that's putting an emotional burden on the person. I'm sorry. Race is a totem pole, and black people are at the bottom of it when it comes to like this the social construct of race. And she knows that if she puts it on Garcelle and Garcelle gets mad, then everyone else will fall in line with Sutton saying something that was dark.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like she
If you
wanted Garcelle. Yes, I'm sorry. I know I'm talking.
no, no, I was going to say you make a really good point. If you genuinely have a concern that the person that you're saying this about is racially insensitive, why are you going to the other minority on the show a year and a half later and bringing this up? Why has this not been a conversation before of, hey, I want to have a conversation about our mutual friend. These are some things, these are some red flags that I'm feeling. Let's talk about this. But instead, you're bringing it up a year later and only looking to me, to my opinion, when the comments are not on your side. Like, girl, at this point, you're on your own
Yeah.
out there.
Yeah, it felt like she was looking for Garcelle to come onto her board for everyone to be able to back off because when Garcelle had an issue, I almost kind of feel like when Garcelle had an issue, Crystal thought people the general public understood her more. I don't know. It's just something very weird. I feel like she's I just feel like she's playing identity politics in a very like weird and disturbing way of like she plays it when it's beneficial for her. But all the other times that Garcelle is trying to talk about how she felt in the group, Crystal's very much so dismissive about it. And I can understand respecting people's feelings. But in this context, you're talking about her saying something dark, and that has for racism, that has a very much so clear connotation of what was said. There's really no ambiguity. Like people are thinking you're saying that she called someone a racial slur. Like people have a very much a concrete idea when you say something dark and the conversation is race. And Crystal knows that. Crystal is smart enough to know that. So for her to throw it out there, and the only reason why the other women jumped up on it was because that can be reflected back on them. I believe they only really take that really seriously because we know Lisa Rinna is going to do this later on, Kathy Hilton, the whole race thing again too. But for her to just really walk around and just say that, and then don't think that she owes it to people to say what was said, it is mind blowing to me. Because for me, I stuck up for her with the whole like violation thing. That to me is a very much so personal situation. But now you're trying to drag the other person of color into the situation, and you don't want to explain anything.
Yeah.
Listen, Kyra, we thank you for calling in, baby. We're gonna put the collection plate out there for you so you can get your coins, okay? Because you went ahead.
You ate that. You ate that.
Look how she ate it.
You ate that.
Kyra, thank you
Thank
for
you. I love
supporting us
talking to
every
y'all.
week.
Bye, baby.
We love you.
I got
Bye.
Naomi clap.
Wow. Listen, I have said it week after week. Kyra put it more eloquently than I have because, I was like, that bitch, da, da, da. But, the sentiment rings true. Everything that she said, I completely agree with regarding the way that Crystal attempted to leverage the situation for her benefit. It's not cool. It's not all right. And I'm not going to be here for it. With that being said, did you guys have any final comments before we sign out on this week's episode of Wednesday Night Live? This is the livest show on Wednesday night after the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, by the way. Wednesday Night Live, you guys.
I'm just ready to hear Garcelle tell Erika she's getting on my fucking nerves.
Because it's about time. She's been building up to that.
And to hear Diana say, you just yelled at me?
Look, if you would have told me 5 years ago, whenever Erika was complaining about Dorit's husband seeing her vagina, that Beverly Hills would become the franchise that sparked racial conversations amongst people and relationships and dynamics, I would have told you a damn liar. Because whether or not what's going on, other franchises have tried to add multicultural cast members and have failed fucking miserably.
New
York, Dallas, fucking Salt Lake City. But this is one of those things where, it is sparking conversations. We are seeing people engaging, people having some tough conversations. I think the people that need to have the conversations probably aren't having it. But I really enjoy getting on the lean and being able to talk about this and having our callers call in because I didn't expect Beverly Hills to be the one to do that at all.
Listen, it's Wednesday Night Live. Make sure that you guys like this video, subscribe to the channel, tweet us at The Lean Official. Make sure that you're in the comments, the live comments, as well as the regular comments. We will not be here tomorrow, so let me make this very clear. We will not be here tomorrow for Dubai, but we're going to have double Dubai for your pleasure next week. Our fearless
not tomorrow. Chase knows that's a big word for y'all. It's a big word for y'all. Not here tomorrow.
I would never, guys. I would never. I believe it. I just won't say who. I know all about the double D's, but our fearless leader will be back next week for those asking. I've had a pleasure, an immense pleasure being here with you guys. Oh, Isabel. Let's see how we're going to split this 999 three-way. Okay, so I'm going to get this for y'all gonna get it. Now, thank you so much. Wow.
Cortez got to get his cut.
Listen, by the way, but it has just been an immense joy and pleasure hosting this week. All the support, I appreciate it. And we will be back next Monday with the Real Housewives of Atlanta. And we're going to see you back next Wednesday for another episode of Wednesday Night Live. And with that, my darlings, we lean out.
You know how to turn it off, Chase?